what? You ain't gonna get it now. Let me tell you, and I would talk more on this, but I don't want the white man to think he gonna just get away. We're gonna get something. You understand? It might not even be money. It might be something else. It could be land. It could be free health care. I prefer free education from the beginning to college. But we've got to struggle. We haven't made a case yet. People don't understand that. Black people have not made a structure. Oh, I didn't know it was that. Black people haven't made a structure. Let me get on that. So compensation could have many forms: money, land, health care, etc. The last, and free education. The last thing is preventive measures. And I'm ending right here. I know I can't go any further. The last is preventive measures. Public dialogue, public admission, public apology, public recognition, compensation, and finally, preventive measures. And there is no preventive measure that does not involve struggle and that does not culminate in creating a just and good society and a good and sustainable world. Therefore, I repeat, as I said before, the struggle is not about money. The struggle is part and part. The struggle for reparation is part and parcel of our struggle for liberation and ever higher levels of human life. And reparations will end not in what the white man gives us, but what we gain for ourselves through the struggle to create a just and good society and a good and sustainable world. Thank you.
Is Maulana means the master teacher. Yeah. Is he the master teacher? And his middle name is Maulana. How you pronounce the middle name?
Ndabezita.
Ndabezita means constant concern to the enemy. That's right. You can see why. And Karenga is keeper of the culture. That was very, very informative. Very informative. We're going to take some questions, but first we have to take some compensation here to help us continue our work. We have 3 organizations bringing you Dr. Karenga Night. Us, NACO, and African Poetry Theater. And we're all independent Black organizations and institutions. So we need your support. We're going to pass the basket around. We hope you would give generously and make sure your donation is very quiet but loud. Okay? So, you know, one of the things that we have to start doing as Black people is really supporting our organizations. That's right. I was reading to my students today the ideas that Adam Clayton Powell put forth about Black people in their organizations. And he said we have to begin to support and sustain our organizations and institutions. Otherwise, they'll be used against us. Okay, and that was one of the struggles of the 60s around who was leading Black organizations, financially and theoretically, okay, in terms of philosophy. So we need to, you know, we want you to give so that we can continue to work here at the theater. You know, the theater had a very unfortunate incident here a few months ago. There was a fire. You can't see it because they've taken care of business. And, but they need money to rebuild, to buy the institution or buy another institution building so that they can continue the work that they do here. So again, thank you for your generous donations. We're going to take a few questions. People that came in late, also we have some forms for the new relaunching of Harambe Notes, the communication organ of the US organization. And we would hope that you subscribe and get others to subscribe so that we can get Dr. Karenga, us, NACO's message out to you on a regular basis. We want to start out as a quarterly and eventually build to a monthly and who knows, weekly, maybe a daily. If we support it, we can do it. As a former editor of Black News that was on the scene for a couple of decades, and a member of the East, I know what black people can do if they work together and commit themselves. I've seen it. You can do wonders, black people. Okay, you can do wonders. And I've seen us turn around students, education system at Ahuru when black people work together. If we just work together, it's nothing we can't do. It's nothing. So we're going to open the floor for questions. We need you to come to the mic here, and we'll stay. I'm sure Dr. Karenga will stay as long as you want to.
I want to take this opportunity to recognize a brother in the house that's a strong soldier and representative of Minister Louis Farrakhan, a brother of Minister Akbar Muhammad. Would you stand? Send warm greetings to the minister, brother. Warm greetings to the minister. Okay, who would like to start the first question? Okay, yes, sir, Bakati. Right to the mic. Bakati.
Greetings, Maulana. Could you give us a little more on this push by Bush to go into Iraqi? And the only thing that seems to be holding them back is there seems to be a split in the ruling class.
That's right.
Over you know, why he hasn't moved ahead. So I mean, what's your take on it, and what do you think ultimately is going to happen?
Yeah, well, appreciate what you've said, if I understand correctly. Bush is trying to follow up where his father failed. His father wreaked havoc on Iraq. And they did it not simply because they thought that and feared that Saddam Hussein would no longer listen to them, because one time, you know, they praised him as an ally, okay? But when he wanted to show independence and go his own way, then they decided they would crush him and teach him as a lesson. He also made a mistake by invading Kuwait. Then he loses moral status, and then they pounce on him, okay? They use that excuse to pounce on him because they always feared Iraq as a challenge to Israel. The white man is always concerned about keeping Israel as imperialist outpost in the Middle East. A lot of times black people, you know, black people go through like fads. You know, we used to talk about white supremacy all the time. People just start their speech with white supremacy. But you can't forget that. Whites want to continue to dominate. And they have more common cause with their Jewish brothers and sisters than they do with Arabs. No matter how loyal and obsequious Saudi Arabia is, it will never be a substitute for Israel. And so the first thing they had to do was to knock out, they first destroyed Lebanon as a banking center. Okay? I mean, you have to go all the way back to the history of this. And then second, they destroyed Iraq, which was the most advanced technologically country in the Middle East and was the strongest challenge to Israel. They bombed it mercilessly and had killed 2 million people, mostly children and elderly people, by denying medical treatment as well as ruthless saturation bombing. Okay? They have a personal vendetta, but it is larger a geopolitical need to suppress not only Iraq, but any challenge to its dominance in the region. It also could benefit from monopolizing the oil. Iraq has played an independent role in making deals with Russia for a long time, and the Soviet Union, before the Soviet Union collapsed, still has deals with that. And with the rest of Europe as opposed